Greetings, welcome to Extra Hours, part of the Office Hours Global network. You can find out more and you can sign up and join at officehours.global/join. Tonight, Extra Hours, we have a few people from around the world. We're going to talk about production-y things, talk about cameras and lighting and bits and pieces. We'll likely get into some content recommendations as well. So we're all kind of production people, AV production, event production, and live streaming and media production is kind of the thing that we're about. So you can join in the chat, come along in the Meccana system that we have. For those that are familiar with that and have the link that comes in the email. It's good to have a couple of people I've seen pop into the chat already, and we've already also got a few questions. Before we get to the couple of questions that we've got, let's go around and see who we have. Starting off up in Seattle, Washington, is my offsider on this show, Guy Cochran. Hello, Guy.
Hello, all the way from Seattle, Washington, where I'm grabbing onto my mute button at the last second.
Slow on the mute.
Gotta get quick on the draw.
That's right. What's the weather doing there today, Guy?
Man, yesterday I walked the dogs in the rain that was going sideways in the 39-degree weather. It wasn't pleasant, so I'd have to say it's cold up here and rainy.
The rain that came in from the side. The big fat rain, all the type of rain. There you go. That was my Forrest Gump. You're welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Nice. Very good. And not too far from Guy, down a little bit, is Zach Jeffers. Hello, Zach.
Hello, just 4 hours east of Guy, and it's a comfortable 40 degrees. And my Starlink response times are averaging 22 milliseconds, and the gods have shined upon us.
Good. We get a status update of the ping times. Very good. And at the moment, we have another panelist. We may see someone else pop in a little bit later, but we'll see. But Paul Walhus in Austin, Texas. Is that right? Is that where you are?
That's correct. You are correct. The ATX, as we call it.
Oh, there you go. Very nice. And you're sporting that shaver microphone.
Yeah, it doubles as a Norelco, like shaver when I'm not using it as a mic. It's actually a Tula mic made from melted down Russian tanks. It's recycled,
Wow. It does sound pretty good. Now, we always tease you, Paul, about your myriad of microphones, your microphones myriad. And what prompted you to get this one?
I read the specs. I watched the videos. I looked at the reviews. It was a slam dunk. I mean, nobody in office hours except for you, Grant, has ever given me a compliment on this microphone. You're a historic first timer. So I'll take more compliments if I can get them.
The funny thing is, don't you have like an MV7 or something as well?
Yeah, I got an MV7 right here. Here. This blows it away. It blows it away. Come on, you guys.
Most people would be happy with that. I'm not sure blows it away.
The emperor wears no clothes, right?
That's right.
The proximity effect gives you a clean shave.
And completing our panel tonight, we have coming in hot from Hollywood, California, is Courtney Gooden. Hello.
Hello. Coming in hot from Hollywood right after the Golden Globe Awards.
The Golden Globes, exactly. Yes. Did you watch the Golden Globes, Courtney?
I did. Yeah. Been in that room where they occur at the Beverly Hilton many times. It's such a tiny place to have such a big awards show, It's always amazed me that they keep using that hotel ballroom when it only holds about 150 people in a banquet format.
Yeah, and the format of it makes it feel even smaller, I think, now. now that they've pushed the stage further into it, it seems.
Yeah, they push the that they build that proscenium out in front of the stage, and that displaces about 5 tables. So
yeah.
So there's more people that have to wait in the lobby of the hotel.
Yeah, right. There must be a lot. I mean, I do like some of the camera angles they're doing now with that. It does look really nice when they have the sort of
they do have kind of a sky cam or something mounted in the ceiling now, and as well as that RoboCam that moves in a semicircle around the front proscenium.
Yeah, that's cool. But I do like when the host kind of has the audience in the background. It's a nice look, and and reminds everyone that it's about the TV audience around the world, not so much about the people in the room. But
and they got rid of the presenters reading the nominations because there were so many problems with that. So the nominations are all canned video, and they just here are the nominees, and they roll the video package.
Yeah. I'm yet to watch it all. I've only watched some clips. I will watch it because I quite enjoy those sorts of award shows.
Yeah, everybody's drunk at that award show because they serve.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. A bit more interesting.
Social.
But did they still have? Because I feel like maybe it was the Oscars that they had the presenters who the people that are presenting the award pre-record the nominees. But is that how it was, or was it just always?
No, they had an announcer.
It was the same announcer.
It was an announcer package that presented the each of the nominees when they did clips, and they had video walls on each side, on the sides of the banquet hall, instead of behind. There was one behind them, but they didn't put any thing other than what looked like, basically part of the, set decoration behind them. And there were no pictures of anyone, any people, or any nominees behind them.
Yeah.
Only on the side walls. Anyway. So, a fun night.
It happened. I did like the opening line that was, "This is the most important thing happening right now is the Golden Globes."
Yes.
let's ignore everything else that's happening in the world.
Yes, the entire political situation around the world is falling apart.
That's right. Yes. And we're pausing.
We're give away some gold statues.
We're pausing to give some attention to some people that are constantly in that have attention.
Getting attention.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, making sure they do. Now I'm tracking the chat here a little bit, and it seems that everyone has a few comments about Paul's microphone, about the tank.
Could I borrow it, Paul? I need a little shave.
Need a little shave.
I'll loan it to you, Courtney, but you got to come to Austin to get it. Okay.
Does the mic use any Russian vacuum tubes? Was what Kent said. Is this thing on? Robert. And what was the other thing? The tank. Paul is a bit hot with his tank compared to the others.
I told him I'd speak more softly and bump it down.
Do it that way. The tank is very sensitive. Very good. All right. So that's our panel for now. We do have we've got a couple of questions there, Guy. What have we got first?
We got Zach Jeffers on the panel and asking this question all the way from Spokane, Washington. With the rising cost for anything with memory chips, I see a future with the make it work with what we have mentality and more people moving to the cloud. Do you foresee any changes coming in the industry as a result? Any opportunities?
Paul?
The real opportunity isn't buying better gear, it's optimization. The guys with the 128 gig workstations aren't the winners. It's the creators who can squeeze a 4K stream through a 4 gig pipe by actually respecting the code. And we're learning a lot about the cloud, using the cloud as opposed to just cramming more memory in a local machine. And Guy Cochran, he's going to nail this, I'm sure.
Courtney.
Well, I think also that the chip manufacturers are going to this unified memory model where they're putting a lot of the local memory of the chip uses, the CPU uses, on the substrate itself that the chip is mounted on. So, which is Apple's M series does that, and now the Intel series does that, and I think also AMD's got some that have local on onboard memory to speed up and to use it for AI access for the NPUs to get those up.
Yeah, I did hear that in some analysis
But they do have to use flash to do that, though. They still got to buy it. But
you're right. Yeah, but I wondered. Someone was saying that Apple may have an upper hand just for a little bit in this period because of their manufacturing process and the stock on hand type idea. I wonder if that's true. Guy, what do you think on that?
Yeah, I'd heard that same thing. It is interesting because as these depleted inventories start to come on people's radar, you're going to see a lot of things increase in cost. We're already seeing it. The DDR5 RAM that I bought a couple months ago, it's 3x. It's like, what's a better investment right now, silver or RAM, 3 months ago, because it's really, really just ticked up. About the cloud, though, it's interesting because we did see a report that certain bare metal, meaning the whole machine, because usually we just get slices of a machine, they did some dramatic price increases. And if that's an indication, that was just one AWS example, and people in the community that cut vMix and Viz in the cloud, they were like, well, that's not our instances. That's not the ones that we use. But it's like, but it's a hint of what may be to come. So it can get a little scary if they start increasing those prices, and you've already booked gigs where you say, okay, for the next year, we're going to use this infrastructure. And now all of a sudden it's 33% more and you're running 10 machines for that show. It could be a dramatic difference. So there's this weighing of costs, like even with Apple, it might be easier to just buy those machines outright right now because you could own them in a couple months compared to renting in the cloud. So maybe use Mimo Live to do a playout system or cut a show because you could buy the Mac now for X price versus that 5090 AMD big $10,000 workstation that you could have bought 3 months ago is now 15 grand. And so things just change that fast, that dramatically. And one of the things to watch out for if you are renting in the cloud, sometimes it's not all about memory. I ran a lot of tests in AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure. And for vMix, it's not RAM intensive, it's GPU intensive. So you want to go sideways. You don't need to go up. You don't need to get the machine with 128 gigs of RAM. It's a waste of money. Or even 64 is good, but going to 128. So there's this sweet spot where they call it the G4D and 8X large is a very snappy feeling machine. But if you go to Azure, I just tried a 128 gig machine over there. There's a gotcha that I want to give you guys a little warning because I just got a refund for $550 today. So here's the gotcha. In AWS and in Google Cloud, when you say shut down your instance, you're no longer being charged if you're on one of the regular spot instances or one of the ones where you just you're borrowing it temporarily, essentially. But in demand instance, yeah. And in Azure, not only do you have to shut down, you actually have to detach. If you do not detach, then it says you're still using that. So that's why I got sticker shock when I got the bill. And well, actually, they just took the money out of my bank account. I was like, whoa, wait, where'd all that money go? And it's like, well, they took it because your cloud was not shut down properly. It was not detached. So word of warning out there. Yeah, it had 100. Oh, and that's the other gotcha. It had 128 gigs of RAM, but had less performance than the AWS 64 gig one because their GPUs, they only give you 1/6 of the GPU. So you share the GPU across the board. Unlike AWS and Google, you get that whole GPU for your portion. And so it's the performance difference was dramatic. Like that instance, when I ran the same 8-up Zoom test, eight people, it was at 90% when I did a 4K stream to YouTube versus the other ones are running at like 30, 40%. So, and I put some videos online that show this, walking through this. that show you the Google Cloud and add 8 up, and I'll put a link in the chat so you guys can see this test, but I've been running it across all the clouds because what might happen, the danger is that people start doing a bunch of AI stuff in AWS, everything gets locked up. There's no more on-demand instances. You only get reserved instances. And now, unless you pay for the reserved, meaning you're paying for it the whole time, 24/7, 365, those are expensive. You get a discount for saying I want a reserved, but then it's yours. But if everybody starts doing whatever Bitcoin mining, that stuff just goes away. We've seen it in the past where you go to do an on-demand instance and you can't fire it up because it's like there's no allocation, they're all gone. So I've been screaming from the rooftops for over a year saying, hey, go to Google Cloud, have a backup plan, because if you're 24 hours to show and you can't spin up that instance, you're going to be crying. Especially if you built out something extensive that's like 5. Because when we do some of these shows, we have 3, 4, 5 instances that we need, and we have some scripts that'll brute force it, that'll just keep pinging the heck out of it. But if you can't get them, that's a sad thing to tell a client.
Yeah, they're not there.
Yeah, it's the whole CapEx. Do I buy it and own it? But then, it's the whole power, security, insurance, the IT tech to run it, to maintain it, the de-bloatware, whatever. It's like all this stuff. It costs money, like if you own it, there's still a cost to even dusting the thing and, keeping the environment clean.
Totally. Zach, what do you think of all that?
Yeah, so it got me thinking today when I was talking to somebody about the idea of running multi-channel audio mixing in the cloud. And there's, we've seen some new services come online for that. And so that's like one place where I don't have a lot of experiences in the live audio mixing side outside of like the vMix mixing. But it got me thinking about the allocation scenario that we're going to be faced with, and the fact that all the big cloud vendors are investing in the AI side of their data centers. And so they're not investing as much as they used to in what they would call their consumer side of the data center, where we all rent our GPUs from. And so in my head, I'm thinking, well, nobody's going to go buy a 5090 and put it in a $4,000 PC and run a show that way anymore. They're going to be going to the cloud, but the cloud is going to start also becoming limited with the resources as people start to move there. I mean, they've obviously, for the last number of years, we've been doing that, but the general audience of production is going to start doing that. And then all of a sudden those resources are going to get slowed down as well. And they said that we're not going to even see like a leveling for 5 years, let alone a recovery, because it takes them 10 years to spin up new fabs, right? So the idea that like just equipment in general has to have cache, has to have some sort of buffer memory, has to have some sort of processing in it, has to have some sort of memory chip in it. Like almost everything we have is a computer and has memory, and it's all going to be gone. And so the idea that we just have to start thinking different, because the ones that are prepared, or maybe even the ones like Guy who have their high bandwidth connections at home and can do shows with the hardware that they have, may be in a better position than those of us that typically actually go to the cloud to rent resources.
It's interesting days ahead. Yeah, I'm working on a upcoming project, and I'm right in the middle of it. Guy and I are talking through, like, do we, to cloud or to not to cloud? And it's it's really tricky because it's not, there's just pros and cons. And I guess the pro for local is cost, like a fixed cost. But yeah, I'm not sure yet. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it becomes a spreadsheet game. It's kind of like, where does the intersection lines come up and down? Like, is it 8 months return on investment where you could own that thing outright? But then again, you got the maintenance part of it. If you're maintaining that yourself and you need to all of a sudden buy some high-end switches or some UPSs or some generators, where does that now come into play? But Zach's right. There's only so much physical space right now that these data centers live in. So in AWS, you got the East, you got US West, you got Ohio, and then it's like, how many computers are physically in there, because they're not just going to magically appear. They're real things. It takes infrastructure. They're pouring concrete literally right now everywhere to build these things out just for OpenAI, and it's going to get crazy. But if you own it already, now's a good time to analyze what you got and see if there's anything else that you need before things can get crazy, and do a little research on what Apple's pipeline is. If you are an Apple fan, I know some folks aren't, but the silicon with the chips on board, it's starting to be a good buy at this point, especially
to be
since
a thing, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, well,
it is.
Micron is building new fabs in the United States, but they won't in Boise, I think, in Idaho somewhere. But they won't be ready to go into production until 2027. So at least.
And that's the other interesting part about all this, is that Micron made Crucial RAM, and so Crucial they took off the market. So that consumer line, if you've owned Crucial RAM in the past, one of the biggest names, gone. And the reason why is because those GPU RAM modules, those chips are more profitable because they can mark them up right now because they're so in demand. They're the only ones making them, or not the only ones. There's a TMS, I think is the name of the other company, but there's significant demand that they can't even meet.
Interesting times.
And
all
the
right,
power.
Next
too.
question.
Sorry to interject. There was just a comment in the chat about the power demand for these. And it's not just the fab building, right? Like the grids have to support it. There's communities that are literally fighting against this because they don't want to see these types of monolithic concrete boxes show up in their communities, right? Along with, they don't want to see their power rates go up. And there's just a lot of demand all around for this whole concept that's almost like a drag on the industry, but it's more or less just a change in culture and technology that we have to adapt to. But the whole topic about adjusting what we do on a day, where we're so used to adapting what we do from being hardware guys to being cloud guys. But now there's the next version of that, and I think that discussion is super interesting.
Yeah, I think the power thing is an interesting one, in that if you think about the power that we're using now on just our consumer product, like the laptops and the Mac Minis and things, like it's a fraction of what it used to be. Like you buy a PC before and you get a 300 watt power supply in it or something. Well, now we're running like these little Mac Minis on like 10 watts, 5 watts, and like very, very little power that's that it's consuming. And so I think and the power and the speed of them is obviously dramatically increased. So I think there is a curve that you can kind of track, that the speed goes up, but also the power consumption goes down. And I know that all these GPUs do use a lot of power, but it's only going to get more and more efficient. And so there's a lot of power. There's also other ways of generating power. I think that there's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, everyone. We'll be all right. I did see. I love the generators. Like I saw wave generators, I don't know what they call them. But sticking little generators in the ocean.
Current
and
turbines.
Just there we go. Thank you. Perfect terminology. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And then the idea of even putting data centers in the ocean as well, or underwater. And so great for
till they find out that the
well.
heat will kill the whales, and then then it's all over.
It'll be great for swimming in the ocean in the winter, because the ocean will just be a bit warmer. And
I think the whales will learn to use the AI to translate whale song into English. So that should be an easy translation for AI right now.
Very true. All right, next question.
Next one in from Raj Shandil in Los Angeles, California, asking, are there technical communities that you support online?
Paul?
Okay, back before you guys were born, not Courtney, I'm talking about the younger people here. We had two pretty cool tech communities. We had the Well in Sausalito, California. It was running on an old VAX PDP-11, and we had Tech Talk on there. It was before the web. We used SSH to log into it, and we had like a command line interface. And then in Austin, I started the Spring, which ran on the same software as the Well, and we did Tech Talk there. Now, let's bring things up to current times. To me, the slam dunk technical community is Discord. I have so many Discords that I can't even get to most of them. You know, there's a Discord. Mm-hmm. I think this show has a Discord, doesn't it? Isn't there a Discord for Extra Hours? There's a Discord for David Paskin's show. There's a Discord for Office Hours. There's AI Discords. You just can't even begin to even scratch the surface of all these Discord communities. So that would be my vote for the tech community.
Mm-hmm. Good one. Courtney?
Yeah, there are forums. I've been on many forums over the years. When I was a sound mixer for many years, there's JW Sound run by Jeff Wexler. JW Sound Group, I think it's still around, where there's a lot of professional sound mixers and technologists that participate at that particular, here, let's see, can we see this site? Here it is.
Yeah.
That's JW Sound Group, and it's fairly active. I haven't been on it recently since I haven't been doing very much sound. Look, they have a thing that's all things Apple. Look at that. There's a bunch of Apple fanboys on there, so you guys will feel.
Is that the real reason you're not there?
Yeah, that's the main reason. Well, Jeff Wexler, I've known Jeff Wexler for many years, and we've always had this similar to the Alex Lindsay, Courtney Gooden competition over
banter,
Mac versus PC. Yeah. So I would always, he and I would always trade insults about our various computer platforms over at JW Sound. So, yeah. So nice. Jeff, fairly, fairly tongue in cheek, but yes, that's a good spot. And of course, there's Office Hours.
Yeah, and that's what I was just going to say too. I don't think there's anything quite like Office Hours, at least for people in our industry. It's been pretty amazing, and it's really amazing to have watched the journey of it coming out of COVID. Was really like, well, how are we still going to do this? When we're back to normal life. I'm not sure that we ever truly went back to normal life. I don't know what normal life is anymore, but one of those things with Office Hours was even just the fact that I'm able to do this at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and so it was worked well to be able to do something that's for me in Australia, supporting people in different countries. But yeah, I think it's particularly unique in that it was really just that Zoom call initially that Alex was saying, and then that expanded, as Paul mentioned, that once Discord came online, I think it went to another level. Like it was like, okay, now people are doing offline messages essentially to so you don't have to be there at the same time, and sharing links and those sorts of things has been pretty amazing. After just last year, I started another little thing for people that use some event planning software. It's called Events Air, and so I just started a weekly podcast essentially, or a weekly Zoom hangout for people that are using it, and it's been really amazing to sort of connect with people all around the world that are using this same event software. And I'm not sure I would have done that had I not thought of what we've been doing with Office Hours. Kind of paved the way of like, oh, you can totally just do a weekly hangout of people that are like-minded and using the same tools. Guy?
Yeah, at first I was like, how do I answer this? I guess I do a bunch of stuff for my church, but that's not the tech community. This other one, though, came to mind that I do every day, and I didn't even think about it. I don't know why, but I started this Facebook group that now has 67,000 people in it, so it's no joke. I mean, you could laugh all you want, but that's a lot of people.
Is it really new now, Guy? Is it really new?
Is it really new? No, it's not really new, but I left the name the same. So yeah, I mean, there's just a ton of people in there. So I'm trying to think, because I've spent so much time answering questions in there, along with I added Chuck Wojak as an admin, and he's helped out tremendously, and Jonas as well. We're the only 3 admins on that to bring in 67,000 people, and so we're in there answering questions. Moderating is not that much fun, though. I mean, trying to figure out who's going to do a live stream in there when you said no live streams unless they're ATEM related, which brings me to, maybe we need to do like a special show with just ATEMs, and I'll push it live into that group. I tell nobody else you could do it, but cool. Hey, I could do it. I could do an ATEM show. I wouldn't stream this show into there, but I would stream it if we did a dedicated first 15 minutes or something. It would bring in some people. So I don't know. Anyways, that's, you asked the question. There's my answer. It's I support that little channel.
I'd be super interested in that, because I think I've seen, particularly Facebook groups in general, I've seen almost the demise of them, you know, like they've gone down and down. The ability to actually get content in front of people, there seems to be no way to push content to them, in that you can do an at everyone, you know, everyone in a Facebook group, and still the number is way lower than, you know, what you would expect. And so it would be fascinating to see if you did a live stream of that, you know, 60 something thousand people, how many people would actually be on live, and what would the reach be?
Come on, people in the chat, what do you think? Give me some ideas. What can we do with this? We got 67,000 people over there, and where can we, hey, maybe there's a new show. Maybe Monday morning's open. Oh.
Well, we can ask people why seemingly no one seems to be buying the G2 Extreme.
That'd be a good question. You know, I know a few people there are a couple people in the group who bought that, and they're talking about it. So, you know, for your needs, and that's the thing, and that's what it boils down to. But it just dawned on me too, that we could invite, you know, Adam Tao, Aaron Parecki, some of these guys that are doing their own 1 hour lives that would want to join that panel, you know. So it'd be interesting to invite those guys. And maybe in 2 weeks we should have an extra hours ATEM special episode featuring the G2. Fun.
Did ATEM, usually they announce something right before NAB. Has anyone seen Grant Eddie coming up with any new demos of any new hardware released from down there in Australia, in your backyard?
Yeah,
just run down the street real quick.
Isn't it normally like a week, you know, a few days before NAB? I think is normally when the big announcements seem to happen. So.
Well, usually about a couple of weeks before, he would do an announcement. They would announce a whole slew of new stuff so that they could be ready to publicize it, and people could book, you know, stuff, visits at the NAB booth. You know,
you could do a live reaction show, Guy, when the announcement goes live, Blackmagic announcements. There you go.
I'm game. I'm open to ideas. All I can do is just throw stuff out there and see what people say, and let's roll. We got resources. We got all the cloud we can eat. So actually, that takes money too. You still need some money.
Guys in Australia,
you can be doing. Spin them up. You charge them $1 a month. You 60 grand a month. That'd be all right coming in.
Yeah, that'd be all right. Let's do it.
Yeah, do it. Paul, you want the final word?
Yeah. Well, I think Courtney might back me up a little bit on this, but I think the Rodecaster Video S is going to come along, and some people are going to trade in their ATEM minis for the Rodecaster. Wouldn't you say, Courtney?
Well, you know, I have since added my ATEM Mini to the Rodecaster Video because there are certain things that the Rodecaster Video still doesn't do that I really like on the ATEM Mini. So now I have the output of the ATEM Mini feeding in to an input on the Rodecaster. So, you know, I can now have access to, you know, some of the stills that I couldn't do before. So it's the best of both worlds. You know, hey, why not have both?
Fair enough. And now you're gonna lay awake at night thinking, which one should be upstream from the other one? Should we have the ATEM?
Yeah, I have noticed that my USB overflow problem is still here. Only it doesn't affect the video on the on the Rodecaster video, it does affect the audio. So if you hear some stuttering audio from me, that's what it is. I hear it from you guys, but I don't know if you guys are going to ever hear it from me. So about every 15 minutes, there's this thing like that.
Oh, no, we don't get that. We just get the sweet dulcet tones of Courtney.
But congratulations, Guy, man. 64,000, you said? Wow.
67.
I'm impressed. Wow.
Yeah. But Guy, maybe you need to start a road one now for the
maybe, but they already sold over 1 million ATEMs, so I think we got something going. So maybe there is a future there. You know, if there's already 1,000 or 1 million people out there that own them, there's probably some interest, and we already have an inside line into the 67,000. In addition to, I think we got 5,000 people in this community.
Yeah, I think my serial number on the Rodecaster video is like 672. 00
I have a little way to go.
672. Yeah, it's got a ways to go.
And they started the serial number at 600. So, we'll see. All right, next question.
We're 72.
Next one's coming in from Zach Jeffers asking, anybody have any fun New Year's productions?
Did you throw yourself a Cochrane? Is that what just happened?
I did. I wasn't trying to. It wasn't my intention. I wasn't trying to take the thunder away. I happened to miss last week's episode, so I figured I'd throw it out there and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I did have an interesting one. It wasn't production as far as video streaming or anything like that, but it was audio. It was front of house audio for a band at a big party, for a big corporate thing at a golf course. But they did have the room set up very awkward for us, which was 165 feet long, I think, and about 30 feet wide. And the band was at the very end of it. And it was a big concrete tube with lots of pillars in it and lots of different variations. And so I want to say about every 20 to 30 feet, you were losing about close to 10 dB, but only in the high and low range. The mid range would stay consistent and would honk all the way through the room. And it was very interesting. So we had to put up delay towers to fill in the sound for the entire audience, and a whole bunch of EQing and things like that. I was hoping to bring the D feedback box in. We didn't have time to implement that. Would have been great because they decided to do what all clients decide to do and walk right in front of the speakers to do their giveaways on the hour before midnight. And but it was super interesting. It was an exercise of getting back in that mindset of like the place you're going to operate in is not going to be perfect. How are you going to respond and how are you going to make it better? So I got to stretch my audio skills again and get a refresher there. Turned out really well. Everybody loved it. And a real interesting thing was they opened the wall of that 165-foot room was all curtains. And so at midnight they opened all the curtains and they were shooting fireworks off out of the parking lot. Except for the first about 5-10 minutes, they were all above the building. So face prints were all on the glass, looking up, trying to see the fireworks happening at midnight. It was hilarious.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, I've experienced, there was a show that I just did a couple of months ago, and it was a month or so ago. And it was in a concert hall, so very, very live. But one of the cool thing was that they had these sort of baffles that they could bring in the top, and so they're just on these droppers, and they press a button, and these big, thick, padded panels sort of came down at the top, in the top of this concert hall, and it made a big difference. And particularly, what made me think of it is all those mids, that were just they're just bouncing all around this, chamber almost. As soon as you brought these baffles in, it just tidied all that up, and all the mids sort of, became more controllable, and that sort of thing. So
were they in the room or on the stage or both, or
both? Yeah, so they're all around, behind on the stage, and then all around where the audience was as well, right up the top. And so yeah, surprisingly, it just tightened it up. Do you know what's funny too is when audience are in the room, and I wonder what that was like for you in this environment. But the smaller, sometimes the smaller the room, we often talk about the meat bags, that walk in the room, and so they all that water and meat that sucks up the sound in a small environment can make a massive difference. The larger the room, sometimes it doesn't make as much of a difference, and depending on what's on the floor and what's on the seat coverings and things like that. But it tends to make a difference. And so I find that when I'm doing a sound check, I tend to have it more mid heavy, because often if I make it sound really nice with no one in the room, inevitably the first song comes on and I'm like, where did all the mids go? Like all of it's gone, and I end up pushing it all back in from the EQ, and so I tend to go a little bit heavier. But in that environment of the big tunnel and all that sort of stuff, once there was people in there, was there a big difference?
Yeah, so it was super interesting because during like the checks and the trying to shoot the room and get everything kind of leveled out with the delay towers and everything like that, I was noticing like just how not clear it was, just not how like how it just kind of seemed like I couldn't hear the speakers. Like I was hearing the noise, but
Just
I
mud.
wasn't hearing
Just
the
mud.
speakers.
Yeah.
And so I tried to adjust for that, and clean it up at a reasonably close distance, just knowing that it was going to get worse as we went back and as people started filling the room. The thing I didn't account for was the humidity. People bring a lot of humidity into a room like that where it's trapped and it can't escape unless you have like the HVAC system just tearing through the air and cleaning it out. The amount of humidity, people don't realize how much humidity affects the sound of point sources. And it made a huge difference, and it like threw off the entire adjustments that I did. So the entire first 5-10 minutes of the song, I was readjusting the entire system to compensate for that. But because you can't really use playback tracks or songs or whatever to do that when you're talking about a live band scenario, when you're trying to make those adjustments. So I just did the best I could, and overnight, we were playing for I think 4 hours, and by the time we got to midnight, it sounded chef's kiss.
Yeah, that's right. Last song was exceptional. Yeah,
Great song.
right. Yeah. Yeah, I had a sim.
I'm sorry.
Go, Courtney.
It just gave me an idea for a new product: is desiccant gum. So you just pass it out to everybody, and it eliminates the humidity in the air because everyone's breathing past their desiccant gum. It just absorbs all the moisture coming out of them.
Brilliant. Yeah, it reminds me of a cathedral that I've mixed in quite a lot, and it's like a 104 or 5 degree day outside, and then just like these big stones, old churches, big cathedrals, and trying to do a little bit of delay towers and stuff that we set up. But often what we would find is, particularly when the show comes in, and to your point, when people are in there, is that I would walk around mixing from an iPad, and the frequency response would change depending on where I'm standing, and the different makeup of the room, and sort of pockets of temperature would be different as well, right? You'd walk, the temperature would be different. Obviously, the humidity is different, which means that the frequency response is different. And so even slight changes in pitch, it feels like the pitch is changing. Yep. It's like there's everything's all very dynamic, and so
I was in a church one time where there was lots of side windows, right? They had the big, beautiful side windows on this sanctuary, and there were the tops of them were clear to let the light through, but the majority of it was like colors and whatnot. But wherever that light was shining through and hitting, that section would sound different. Like it was the weirdest thing. You just walk from one side to the other and it would sound different.
Yeah. Amazing. Nice little tangent there. Let's see if we can push through these questions. Guy, what's the next one?
Next one is from Raj in Los Angeles, California, asking, what do you think people should be paying attention to right now that most are overlooking?
Memory, computers.
That's right. Paul.
Okay. Hey, Raj. I think what we're overlooking is we've gotten into too much complexity, and what we just talked about was the new replacement for the ATEM, the Rodecaster Video S. It's simpler, easier, and like the PTZ camera I'm using is the what do you call it? The
ObSpot.
Insta360. We need a better Insta360. We need a better mixer that has fewer things rather than more. And this microphone, look how simple this is. It's basic, you know. Simplification is the key, not more complexity.
Most people are overlooking Paul's great microphone. I think that's what we're taking away from this. Guy?
All right. So I think it's the future of search, and I had brought this up before. Search, but also Claude and vibe coding. So I'm going to show you guys something that I wasn't expecting to show, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. This is something that I just vibe coded to scrape all the old videos that we have in office hours, and I'll just walk you through what it looks like. So turn your video archive into a searchable knowledge base. Your video archive is invisible to Google and AI. So what Wistia figured out is that they could grab their transcript and make it LLM search friendly. So what's happening right now is there's going to be this arms race, because think about it, Google's owned AdWords forever. Like, go Google it. You know, it's even a lexicon now. It's just you're used to doing that. But what about the words that we're saying in these types of shows where you put that video on a web page or on Vimeo or wherever you put your videos? It's not going to be picked up by AI unless somebody transcribes it. So I built this, vibe coded this app that basically sends it goes to your YouTube. Let's just do it. Let's just watch what happens. So let me just kick it in. Let me log in. So we'll go log in here. Then we'll log in with that one.
So cool.
So here's this interface. I've already done a couple of them, but if we say new project, you take a YouTube URL. So let's go grab one of our shows. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this URL, and I'm going to put it into here, and it says that you can use Whisper AI. So Whisper, there's speaker diarization, which would break out multiple speakers. But let's just see what happens when we hit generate content. You can see this live progress bar. And again, this was all vibe coded. What I look at is just green text when I'm writing this stuff. And so it's downloading the video. It went and fetched it, and you can see it's usually initializing GPT-4o audio API connection, downloading audio stream from YouTube. This may take a few seconds. This one would actually take a long time. I should have done a shorter video. It's extracting the track, uploading the audio to OpenAI. Oh, no. Oh, this one's too long. So yeah, I definitely should have done a shorter video, because here's this like baking the cake though, because I actually have some that I've already done. If we go back to one of the projects that's already completed, like let's say this one. So this is what it would look like after it's done. It spits out this web page, which then I have it write a fresh article based on what was talked about. And then here's the full transcript of everything that was said. So, and then if you're on the office hour site and we have a volunteer that wants to put this into a web page, you just say copy URL, copy HTML, and it's copy that. And I go paste it over into WordPress or whatever we wind up using. But yeah, it's working. This is, just something that I just vibe coded in a couple of days. And the other thing is, when you say new project, you could say, hey, make me a LinkedIn article, make me an email newsletter, make me a Twitter thread, Instagram captions, SEO, and off to the races it goes. But yeah, that's some of the things
you
should
need a checkbox that says make me a millionaire. Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming. It's really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, thanks.
I think the thing, well, it touches on what you've got there as AI, is that obviously I don't think that most people are overlooking AI. They're not. Some people are particularly scared of it. Some people are like very excited by it. I think it's probably the combination of both that seems reasonable. But I think for me, I wonder about the human interaction processes. And I think that we're getting to a point where we're saving more time than ever with such AI tools and things. And so then are we creating more time for human interaction? And that's one of the things I wonder about. Is I think in general, particularly in the Western world, we're probably more lonely than we ever have been. And so by gaining more time, whatever it is, how do we connect with each other? And so I'm happy that we've got this. I'm happy that we're doing this. We've got a reason to hang out and chat about things. And it's kind of the community is what we all stay for, right? Like, it's great content, really helpful, but it's community.
On that, this is how I learned this, was from the community. So Chirig, who's offered his gracious support in helping me learn some of this stuff. I mean, just today, I had said, hey, you should use Playwright, which is kind of like a web browser inside of the command line that you don't see it, but it goes up and can do things in a web browser for you. So I said to it, it kept giving me these errors. And I was like, hey, you log in as me using my credentials and go in and click that button for me, and click all buttons while you're at it, and tell me if there's anything broken. And so it goes, and it goes, oh, this one's broken, but let me fix that real quick. And so it scanned the whole website, and it's just showing me in text, just like, oh, I found this error and I fixed it. So I told Chirig about it, and he's like, oh, if you think that's cool, he sent me this other link, and he's like, go check this out. That basically just keeps going. It doesn't stop. Like, normally you have to say, accept, and if you tell it an outcome, it'll just keep working at it until it gets that outcome. So it could take 30 days, but you could just say, build this website and just keep at it until it's XYZ result that you want. So yeah, I'll put the link to the plugin for Claude that he just gave me and read through this. It's fascinating. It's super fascinating it costs money. I'm running mine locally, but it still has to reach out to Claude, and I pay the $100 a month plan. So these tokens do cost money. So if you sicked it on something for 30 days, you would probably run out of tokens at some point and have to either upgrade or pay more. But people are winning these AI competitions because they're just using this plugin to just say, keep going, don't stop. So the human doesn't have to sit there anymore. Because I've been sitting there for hours and hours just saying accept, 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 accept. It gets old, like it's like, okay, do the next thing. But now you could use this plugin, which I'm excited.
You could change the authentication or the approval for it, though, right?
Yeah, there's something called dangerously accept. Dangerously accept something, and if you put that in before you launch, it'll do it. That's what you do. You're dangerous.
I do it on Codex. On Codex, I do that. I just change approval to full approval, and then it just does. And then I can just leave it for 20 minutes, half an hour, and it'll do all the stuff. It's getting better and better and faster and stuff. So you just trust it. So like, it'll come up and say, "What's your credit card number?" I just put it in. It's like, oh,
what's your social? Yeah, just trust it.
Yeah, that's right.
Accept. So all these new computers, it tells itself, I needed 50 new iMacs, and they're at your front door. And you said accept. Isn't this your signature?
It's automatic. Yeah. Next question.
Oh man, sorry, I jumped. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Richard Bowman. Let me see. Yeah, Richard Bowman. The church I attend has 2 roaming cameras. One uses a Hollyland TX RX, and the other uses a Teradek ACE800 TX RX. The Teradek appears to be getting a bit sketchy in its performance. Any suggestions on what we should look at to replace one or both?
You found that amusing, Guy?
The word sketchy for sketchy Teradeks. That's the name of this show. So whoever's taking the YouTube notes of what we should do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sketchy. Paul, what do you got?
Teradek 750. Next.
Oh, that's better than 800.
It's newer, about $1,000.
Okay. All right. No further comment. Zach.
Yeah, so I have some Hollylands that I've used in a number of scenarios, specifically like churches, and those tend to be really RF hostile with all the wireless mics and the 2.4 gigahertz and the Wi-Fi for the congregation and little hotspots coming in and out and all these different things. And a lot of these, video extenders are based off of Wi-Fi standards or RF within that kind of spectrum where there's a lot of hostility in that area. For example, if I turn on my Hollylands in my personal church, I will pretty much kill everybody's 5 gigahertz. Like just nonchalantly, just everyone's service goes to garbage and everybody turns over to 2.4. So what I've learned is that you have to really kind of focus in. And the other thing is you have 2 competing systems. So if they are in that same frequency range, I'd have to go look at the model numbers to find out. But if they're competing, they're not in sync. Like one's not using a certain channel and the other one's using the opposite. So one suggestion that I usually say is to keep everything the same brand, same network, same, structures, so that you can actually have that control and that simplicity. The second thing is to look at what frequencies you're operating in and make sure that you're not competing for the airwaves with your congregation.
Good one. Courtney?
Yeah, I agree. And look and see, the Teradeks are discontinued. The ACE800's 5 gigahertz bandwidth in that neighborhood, but I don't think it uses regular Wi-Fi, but it carves out that same frequency area. So you're stepping on a lot of 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, so it doesn't pollute your 2.4 gigahertz. Now I don't know, the Mars, has anyone tried the new Mars from Hollyland, the Mars 4K? Because I think it uses with a higher compression. Hitting the button on the wrong number, on the wrong switcher here. The new
2
one
switches.
here. Yeah, I went cut and nothing happened, and I went, oh, wrong switcher. Oh, wrong hat. The new one, the Mars 4K, has this 4K UHD. I was trying to find what frequency it's operating at. I assume it's up in the 5 gigahertz unlicensed area, but it has neater circularly polarized antennas on it, so that looks interesting, and it probably has UHD compression on it, so it has MPEG, a higher quality compression. So it has, uses up less bandwidth per frame, even if you're running it at 1080p.
Okay, next question.
Next one's in from JB Windle, and JB Windle in Chiang Mai, Thailand asks, when shopping for rack-mountable wireless handheld system, what is the lowest tier you would recommend that you won't regret buying down the road?
Wireless handheld systems. So I bought recently a Sennheiser, and it wasn't I'll be able to find it. I think it's a DX. While Zach's talking, I'll have a look. Zach?
Well, I was going to say is, it just depends on which brand you want to go with. And I, for the most part, stick with Shure or Sennheiser. There's a lot of different options on the market, but those have the most availability for parts and rentals and various different components in your area from a rental house if you need it. But from Shure, I would probably not go anything less than an SLXD. And with Sennheiser, I would probably want to go anything less than the basic EWD Pros. They're basically all the digital replacements for the analog series that came before them. But they all have diversity channels. They all have tone. They all have automatic synchronization and frequency selection. And pretty sure all of them have RFID sync to the handheld transmitters or the body packs. And they're all really easy to use. The One U rack hardware is simple to install and utilize, and they all have antenna distribution systems. So if you need to extend your range or combine them into one unit instead of having the forest of RF antennas off your front of house, those are all options at that point because the antennas are removable. The power supply distribution is built into those units. So that's where I would stick if you're going to look for the lowest dollar. But there are cheaper. It just all comes to your risk. If you're willing to put up risk for dropouts, digital interference, things like that. But that's where I would be.
Yeah, totally agree. It was EWDX is the one that I got. And the thing was the Dante, built-in Dante. And so there is there's a single RU that does 4 channels, which is really nice. And the handhelds are great that you get for it as well. But yeah, I mean, you're in the thousands of dollars, to make this happen. And there are plenty of other cheaper alternatives, but likely that they are in, as we were talking about with video, wireless video, we have the same issue with audio when you end up getting these uh, cheaper handheld mics that are in the 2.4 gig range, as well, and there's lots of those. And there's even Shure and Sennheiser have ones in those ranges as well. The cheaper ones they have as 2.4s. So
And those recommendations that I had are in that like $800 range. So they're sub 1,000, but they're not under 500. Like if you go under 500, you're probably wasting your money.
I totally agree with that, and it depends on how often you're using them as well. But we've been super happy with these, and then we ended up getting some more paddle antennas for them as well, and they've been rock solid since that. But the Dante is what's super amazing. It's been really really handy, because the other thing is you can do PoE, you can do Ethernet control and audio over a single Cat 5 cable. So now it means that the receiver itself can be anywhere. You just run one cable to it, and it's giving you power, audio, and control. It's pretty cool. So that's our recommendations. Last question.
Last one's coming in from Florence Donald in Silver Spring, Maryland, asking, does anybody use or anybody see a use case for Zoom video management in media production released today?
So I hadn't seen it. Courtney, did you see it?
I just saw it about 3 minutes ago as I looked for it. It looks like, I don't know, are they going to try and compete with YouTube as far as, what they're trying to sell is basically channels that you create with your Zoom uh, uh, workflow and your recordings that you record in Zoom that are searchable on topics, and you can set up specific channels with good search. Now, I don't know how they're going to compete with the king of search, Google, and YouTube, but it depends on their pricing. I was kind of looking at the pricing structure here is, let's see, free for basic, and the pro is $13.33 a month, I guess, and it's $18.33 for business and enterprise. It's just talk to us. So we'll see how much they're going to talk, how much they're going to charge for enterprise stuff. So it looks interesting. Zoom has some pretty capable programmers, and they have a comparison on the different. They have a chart on there that compares the different levels, tiers of payment, and how much it costs and what you get with each tier. So it's going to take a lot of analysis. I think this is more aimed at enterprise stuff, so that you want to have a non-public facing collection of videos, let's say, for your company. You can post it all and make that database and instructional videos and corporate videos, all searchable by topic and content. So haven't had the chance to take a look at it much more than about the 10 minutes I took a look at it before I answered this question.
Fair enough. Zach?
Yeah, kind of like what Courtney was saying, is it's geared towards those organizations that have a large presence, that need to have structure around topics and training and product knowledge. Like, this would be super cool for a company that has a lot of products and they need to educate their employees. They can just jump into the Zoom organization and look up what they need to and go through those trainings and through those various different levels of knowledge bases. But for the most part, I think that really is focused on those organizations that have like Zoom for the workplace, instead of like something like Microsoft 365, or maybe a bunch of open source tools in YouTube, or whatever that combination is for that organization. And I honestly, personally, haven't seen a lot of organizations go all in on Zoom Workplace. So it might be a mixed bag. Just one more thing to throw on the the product schedule for them.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be about managing existing recordings. Like it's just taking cloud recordings to the next level and making them more accessible and in a more structured way for multiple, not just handling one recording, but multiple recordings. So
I was hoping to see double-ended on there, but I couldn't find it. I controlled F, couldn't find it.
Not yet. Not yet. All right. Content recommendations. Paul, what have you got?
I know, Grant. I know what you're thinking, Grant. You're thinking
Landman?
That old oil field patch guy, Paul, is going to talk about Landman again. The series hasn't wrapped yet, so I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about Pluribus. Pluribus is like Vince Gilligan, and Ray Seahorn is in it. Vince Gilligan is the guy that did Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And I think this thing is like broke all kinds of records. Ray Seahorn won Critics' Choice Award as Best Actress. Gave a beautiful speech last night on the Golden Globes. Incredible speech.
Spoiler alert on
talk about that a little bit. Sorry, Grant. What'd you say?
I said spoiler alert. If you haven't watched the Golden Globes yet, you just heard one of the winners.
Right. Sorry about that. Erase that from your memory.
Right.
All right.
Fix it.
Anyway, I recommend it. I'll toss it over to Guy Cochran.
Good. Guy, what do you got?
Yeah, this video is a little bit old, but it's still super relevant. It's how do GPUs work? And I was super fascinated by this, just the amount of detail that they put into this video. I was in awe to learn how they've come to be, how much processing that they can do, and where we're going with these. After watching the AMD presentation at CES, or I don't know, it wasn't at CES, but I listened to it and seeing how much more power we're going to be squeezing out and getting to where they came from and where they're going. This video, it's over an hour long, but it is so well done. So that's going to be my content pick.
Good one. Not even any software this time. Amazing.
I can get some if you need some. I got this little app that you might
You've got an app.
You already snuck it in. You were totally oblivious. It already came through.
Oh, damn.
It already happened. Zach, what have you got?
Yeah, so I have a video here from the Linus Tech group. I think this is their digital circuit or short circuit channel. It was the first one that popped up about the Legion Pro rollable laptop that was announced at CES. And it's a normal screen laptop that then rolls out to a horizontal 24:1 ratio, or 24:9 ratio, sorry. And it really interests me, not for gaming, and not that it's a gaming laptop, but for production. When you want to have a fly kit and you want to travel lighter and you want to travel, a little bit more compact and have just the carry on and not check your bag, and something like this can enable you to do a lot more easily and have more space and more functionality on the screen, more information to display. For me, this stuff gets me super excited about the possibilities of the future. And so this was my content pick, but it really was more about the technology and the inspiration from some other panelists to do so.
That's cool. Yeah, I think vmix on that or something would look pretty good. I reckon would probably use up that space nicely, something like that. All right, and Courtney, what have you got?
We've been watching a limited series that's on Netflix called Death by Lightning, and it's interesting. The cinematography is really interesting because there's a lot of seems like available light photography, which makes it kind of dark, so don't watch it in a lighted room because you probably will miss half of it. It's a four-part on the assassination event of James A. Garfield, who is played by Michael Shannon. Here's and Nick Offerman is just wonderful in this cast as Chester Arthur. And of course, Matthew McFadden. If you liked Succession and you liked his smarmy character in Succession, he plays an even smarmier American with his American accent character as Charles Gateau in this four-part series. So if you're looking for something to watch on Netflix, Death by Lightning. Nice period stuff. Really, there's a lot. I don't know what they used to create all the scenes of Washington and Chicago in the 1920s, but it's quite amazing that the cinematography and the art direction is really great.
Very nice. All right. Yeah, my pick was on Apple TV Plus is a Prime Target. That was around this last year it came out, but I'm really enjoying it. It's about mathematicians and prime numbers and archaeology and all sorts of cool stuff. So I've been enjoying that one.
Nothing more exciting than prime numbers, I tell you.
Did you? That's right. Exactly. Guy, did you have another little thing you wanted to show on your little?
Oh yeah,
app?
it did finish processing that one. So if you want diary style, which is where it detects the speakers, there's a limit on currently on GPT's processing, so it'll only do like 30 minutes or less. So when I threw an hour-long video at it, it didn't work. But here's what an hour-long one looks like if you do Whisper, which I don't know what the limit is yet, but this is what this thing made. It made this nice blog post, and it where is this other piece here? Yeah, Oh, it made all these other files. So it made this blog post, this newsletter where you could now download the email newsletter. And actually that didn't.
That's cool.
Yeah. Anyways, there's certain things that work and certain things that I'm still working on, but it's amazing that this stuff's made with AI and it just takes time to sit there and bang on it and tell it what you want and just let it rip. So Claude Code for the win.
I think what's cool about it is the inception of AI, right? Because you're using AI to then create a service that uses AI, right? To then, to surface it back around and stuff. That's what's amazing. Yeah. Great work.
That's very cool. Thanks.
All right. Dialogue traversal. I want to start comparing. Remember I said last week, I was trying to remember what the last show was, but we're up to 149 million bananas for scale. What I want is to see how many was like the Sunday show and the Friday show, and start comparing them, see who wins. Surely the fact that I mean, it's based on questions, right? Not necessarily talking. So it's where
every time we go back and forth between you and any of the panelists here, that racks up a lot of miles.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we need to start comparing them. That'll be fun. I want to thank Taylor, especially for spearheading this and making it all work, together with Alan, Jason, Jeff, Peter, and Robert, all making it work in the background. And of course, the panelists that have joined us tonight, thank you. It's been fun. Special mention to Paul's microphone. Thank you. Thank you for that. Is now shaving as well. So that's good.
I will not be getting one. I'm just saying it's not going anywhere.
No,
don't worry about the beard. I'm not buying one.
You don't need it. And then special thank you to all those in the chat tonight as well. Enjoyed your messages there. Join us again next week, 6 o'clock Pacific on Mondays is our particular show, but we have something happening every day on office hours. And so is there a special? I missed that. Is there a special tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon? Anyone know?
Yeah, there's always one on Tuesday. I don't know what the time is.
Sometimes
stay
it's
tuned to your email.
midday.
Yeah,
that's right. You get the email, you'll see. All right. Thanks, everyone.